So the question that you've been asking me is, how do I erase my programming and break out of cycles and patterns I don't like? So my entire life can be what I say and create with my divine words, rather than partly being what I say, or very little being what I say, and the rest being all the unconscious crap from the past that keeps replaying over and over and over again until I die. Because it will kill you. Well, there is a way to do it. And the reason why I invented it was because I, like you, wanted to learn how to break out of those patterns. Because no matter how hard I tried, I still replayed my patterns of being poor as a kid. I actually replayed the patterns of being starved as a kid, as an adult. With 7 years of college and an IQ over 160, I still couldn't make enough money to eat. What the heck was going on? I'm not that ugly, am I? So I had to dive into a study of why I kept replaying patterns I didn't like, which led me to understand that I needed to erase the programming, which led me to try to find out how, which did not exist, which led me to invent a way. And I say I invented it, but I kind of feel like what I did was I figured out how the mind works. It's very simple. It's like a computer. And what I'm going to show you when you learn the 7 steps is how to access the files on the computer and delete them. Now I have a master's in hypnotherapy. And in hypnotherapy, what you do is you put new files on the computer. And if you keep putting good new files on the computer, eventually it'll crowd out the old ones. The problem is I had so many ugly, nasty old ones, that was going to take me forever. I needed to go in and take out the ones I didn't like immediately. You know, remove program, drag to the trash. It's gone forever. It never comes back. Then when you put in one hypnosis session and you implant a new program, it's there forever. It's just automatic. All of a sudden, your automatic energy is what you want it to be. You change your set point to be automatically set at what you want. The reason why people have the experience that personal development is a never-ending journey of clearing stuff is because all of their tools are not permanent. So it never goes away forever. Let's say you had a major trauma, like your parents both died in a car accident when you were a kid. And you were devastated, and you had to live with your aunt, and you never really got over it, but you moved on. But whenever you think about your parents, you feel really sad, right? Let's imagine that happened to you. You know that you've cleared it forever when you think about your parents, and you don't feel sad anymore. It's simple enough. Every single item you have on your list from now and from your past, you should be able to think about all those things and feel no negative emotion. Peace, calm, neutral, acceptance, relief, but not upset anymore. That's what it is to be cleared. You can do that with this tool. I'm wondering if there's anybody here who's used the 7 steps before, and just the 7 steps successfully, that would want to share about it. Come on up. Let's have everyone who wants to share it come on up.
When I sat in his Why Your Life Is the Way It Is talk at the it was the New Earth Expo in January that we went to in Burbank, and I just knew for some reason, I just felt his energy and resonated with the similar type of story, and I just felt something was here that I was going to learn. And in the past 6 months, I have erased the post-traumatic stress. I've erased 80% of the lingering pain, maybe 90% of the lingering pain in my body that was still left from the accident, the energy imprint of the accident. And having worked with Arnoux in the 7 Steps weekend, I erased some of that pain that day, on the first day of the weekend, which allowed me to tolerate, like up to that point, I could only sit in a chair for 20 minutes at a time. And then I was in so much pain, I had to get up and leave the room. When I erased that, the first exercise we did, I was able to sit in the room for the rest of the talk and just take it in and not be completely distracted by the pain. So that, if that's all it did, that would be worth the price of admission to me. I think it was almost 20 negative beliefs that I had about money. And at your suggestion, I used the 7 steps to erase all of them And after they were all gone, I wrote a book. And here it is. I wrote this book in 2 weeks after all of my negative beliefs were erased. This is testament, this is physical evidence of what can be accomplished once we use this tool to get our stuff out of the way. Not everybody's an author, but everybody has a masterpiece inside of them. The 7 steps is a tool that anyone can use. So
you're trying to create something in your life, but there's some programming inside of you stopping you. No matter how hard you try, 20 years of trying to write a book, you can't break through that wall with your willpower. But if you can erase the programming, boom, in 3 days it's done. That's what we're going to learn this weekend. Fantastic work, Jennifer.
thank you. Oh, yes, let's hug it out.
I'm so proud of you.
With the 7 steps, it's just, I've had clients erase their rape trauma, get rid of their drug addictions. I had this one guy he said he spent over $100,000 on therapy, and with a few weeks with me, he erased all his trauma. He wakes up happy now. And me personally, I was suicidal and depressed since I was 12, and that's why I took all these seminars, and nothing's worked. But because of Arnoux, I think he saved my life, because I don't think I'll be alive now, because I'll probably be, without the depression. But that's my testimonial, is I'm not depressed anymore.
Wow.
So I got to clear a lot of stuff with my dad. Growing up, we had, my sisters and I had a very controlling and verbally abusive dad. And going through all the 7 steps, really, it helped so much. I know that I had a lot of issues, and my sisters did too, that were just building up over time, and we were able to get through so much. Because before the weekend, we had a lot of issues with trying to communicate with him, and just a lot of things just weren't clicking. And afterwards, we cleared probably about 80% of the issues that we did have. And ever since then, like about every week or every 2 weeks, something new will present itself just between us in the relationship, and we're able to clear it like that with the 7 steps. And it's been really, really amazing, because it's not only us that are changing, my sisters and I, but we also notice changes in him. Like, he's becoming healthier as well, and he's changing his mindsets as well. And so it's been really quite an incredible process for us. So that was our big thing. So,
Well, your whole world is affected by your energy field. And when you clear things, people around you get impacted by that.
It's amazing.
Yeah?
This tool makes magic happen. Your life will change. I guarantee it. My life has changed. My life is so different from what it once was. It's unbelievable. I believe in miracles now. Anything's possible. And it's because of the 7 steps.
Thanks,
And
Jonathan.
this guy right here. He's pretty cool.
Knew that there was something that drove me nuts that I couldn't heal on my own. Now, I'm trained in 20 different healing methods. I used to be a professional healer. You'd think I could do something about what I couldn't get rid of. But it was the method that made the difference. I had excruciating pain on my skull where I landed and throughout most of my spine. And then there was all the emotional stuff that went through having been attacked. The physical pain was the thing that was so debilitating. So when I came in here in February, I didn't know how I was going to do it. But the thing I most wanted to be free of was what this experience of physical pain did to me. And at that point in my life, I had just had enough. I was done with this thing being in the way. But there's something about this, you erase stuff. Like once you erase it, it really is gone. I got up out of that chair knowing something was different. I didn't know how different it would be. I woke up the next morning. I had no physical pain, and I also had no fear of the physical pain. Came back in, and they were just like, man, you're like 6 inches above the floor. I mean, you're just elevated at this point. I was just so thrilled to be done with the dang thing. But I knew I had a different life. I didn't know the extent to which I did. And what has been amazing is, since February, what it's been like, it truly is a new life. I had lived for 40 years with the terror of that physical pain, and that was gone. And what it's been like now is I can be a normal person Like, I'm a normal person in a non-damaged body with a brain that works, and I have a whole life experience that supports that. There's no longer this thing that I think about all the time. It's just not there as a thing. It's not a problem anymore. That's the biggest difference. So the physical pain being gone, man, that was worth everything that it took. But to not think about that event anymore, I would not have believed you if you had told me that was possible. Oh, wow, like that occurred to me last week, and I went, dang, that's a big deal. It's one thing to be physically pain-free. It's another thing not to be haunted by that kind of event anymore. It's just gone.
Would it be okay if I told you about the course? Let's see. During the course, you will learn how to erase your negative emotions. You will begin crossing off items on your list. You will actually leave with a lot of the emotional weight that you carry gone. If you already know specifically what you want to work on, bring that to the course and erase it during the course. You don't want to be controlled anymore. You have a money challenge. You have depression. You have sadness. You have whatever. It's bothering you every single day. Bring it to the course. During this course, you will witness miracles, and I fully expect many of you to be the miracle that we'll experience together. Last time, I had someone come on stage to demonstrate how it's done, and we erased his anger that his daughter won't talk to him. Pretty major issue, right? And this cute girl in the back, 19 years old, raises her hand, and she says, "What do you do if you have grief?" And then she starts crying. And I said, "Would you like to be a demo and come up here?" So she comes up on stage, and of course it's all voluntary. And we started erasing her grief and sadness about her brother dying of leukemia this year at the age of 21, her best friend. And her whole field, her whole energy, if you could imagine the picture, was all black. Just depression, sadness. She was just down, right? And as we were erasing it, people in the audience got kind of upset because, you know, you can actually erase someone being sad about someone dying. I mean, that's just part of life, right? It's normal to be sad when someone dies. Except it's not. It's just another chosen belief. And when it was all over and we erased the entire thing, and she wasn't sad at all, I said, "So it's all gone?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "So how do you feel now?" And she said, "I feel relieved that my brother's out of pain." Everyone cried. We'll see stuff like that. Now, we asked her the next day how she felt, because her whole aura turned white. And she said she felt great, and she went home and erased all her anger towards her boyfriend that night. It's kind of cool, right? To not be mad at your boyfriend anymore. Or your girlfriend. So you'll do the 7 steps. You'll learn the 7 steps. And one of the things that's great about it is you can do it on your own after. You may not complete your entire list in 3 days. You might only get half of it or a fourth of it. But you could do the rest on your own after. It's not like you have to pay someone $200 an hour to keep doing it with you. You all know how to do it yourself. And to me, that's what makes it the best tool ever, is you can do it yourself. Now, there's an exam that you can take online. And if you take the exam and pass, then you can also be certified as a practitioner of the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself. Do you know how fulfilling that is to just on the phone, because you can do it on the phone or on Skype with people, and have them share with you the emotional challenges, the problems they're facing in their life, and erase and erase and erase. I got a text yesterday from someone who's coming to the weekend. I got a text from one of my consultants yesterday because he had a session with someone who's coming to the weekend, and she was really sad about her husband passing away. And it's been 18 months and she's still devastated. And she didn't really believe that it would work. So she had a private session with one of our consultants, Jonathan. She didn't believe it was going to work in just one session, but it did. And it's all gone. And I told her that every single day she should wake up happy. And if she doesn't, that means there's something to work on. And we're going to work on it until you wake up that way. Now, it's not just for people passing away. It's for any and every issue. Being controlled, money issues. A lot of people would talk about their money breakthroughs that they had out of the course. Health issues. We had someone in the course who came up to me and she said, "Arnoux, my shoulder hurts. Do you think this will work on my shoulder?" And I said, "Well, do you have a pattern of injuring your shoulder?" And she said, "Yeah, I was in 3 different accidents on the same shoulder." and said, well, how do you feel about being in those accidents? And she started to say she felt afraid and whatever else. And I said, why don't you try the 7 steps on all the emotion that you feel about all those accidents? And see what happens, you know? Well, she came back up during the break and she said, Arnoux, 80% of the pain is gone. That's pretty amazing. I mean, I didn't know if it was going to work at all because maybe it was a total physical root cause. Maybe it was all nutritional. I didn't know if there was any mental emotional cause to it, but apparently 80% of it was mental emotional. There's way more stories to tell you, but if you did that with clients 5 days a week, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, would that be a fulfilling career? Would you love your life? And what would you pay to learn that so you could make that your career? What would you pay to erase your entire list of emotional pain and be able to create what you want to create in your life? So as far as the pricing goes, we had someone who after the weekend said that she would have paid $100,000 to come. Her name was Athena. She's going to be here tomorrow. $100,000. That's a lot of money. But it is, in a way, it's priceless to know how to do this. Now, I've been to a lot of seminars, and I paid a lot of money for a lot of seminars. Some seminars I've been to were thousands and thousands of dollars. The last seminar I bought was $25,000. The one before that was $5,000. And guess what? They were worth it. Like Benjamin Franklin said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. The $25,000 course was way more valuable than all 4 years of business school training that I got. And that was more than $25,000. So what would it be worth to learn how to erase all these things? I mean, this is the ultimate course because it makes every other course work. So I thought it would be fair to just charge $1,000 because more people can afford that. See, I have this idea that the reason why the world is the way it is the same reason why your life is the way it is. That all the people on the planet are putting out all these vibes that are causing it to be the way it is. And if we would just change how everyone's thinking and feeling, then we would actually see real change on the planet. Then we would see oceans that are clean. Then we would see skies that are clean. Then we would see the end of slavery and hunger and poverty and all the other issues that we don't really need, we only have because of all the programs we have. So what can I do to make sure that every single person on the planet knows how to do this and starts doing the work? I have to make it affordable for everyone, don't you think? So I found a way to make it affordable to every single person.
The results and benefits of our training are only available to members of our private association. To learn more, call 877-680-8200 or visit TotalHealthMasteryUSA.com/7 steps.